Hi, it's Tamika Schilbe, and today we're going to talk about the 3 sentences that you hear in an emotionally mature relationship. And this can be any relationship. So it can be a really close friendship, it can be a love relationship, which is what it will apply for a lot of you, or it could even be a family relationship, so with a parent and a child, or any relationship that is significant or meaningful to you. Now, we all have challenges in intimate relationships because what happens is the dynamics between two people at times are opposed. So one person believes one thing, the other person believes another thing, and the closer the relationship is, the more it impacts daily life. But if you have these 3 sentences that are spoken from time to time by both parties, not just one party, both parties, you'll find that you're in a relationship that is more supportive, it's more enjoyable, it's less controlled by a whole bunch of power dynamics, so you keep the power and control dynamics in check, and it's also emotionally mature. So before I tell you these sentences, I don't want you to feel guilty or like you're not in a good relationship because you haven't said those things or you haven't heard those things from the other person. Relationships are the hardest thing we do. It's what we're here to learn about. We're here to learn about ourselves through another person and have that reflected back. But it's not easy. It's really hard sometimes. So go easy on yourself and go easy on the other person. It's not going to help the relationship to start demanding this from someone else or forcing them to do this. That won't work. What you could do is show them this video if they're open, but if they're not open, just practice these sentences yourself and that will wear off. It will wear off on them. So the first sentence is, I'm sorry. And most of us know this one. But the thing is, sometimes we hear I'm sorry or we say I'm sorry and it doesn't really land. It doesn't feel right, doesn't feel genuine, or we're not ready to say it, but we say it. I have another video on that, so I'll post the link to that below. The second sentence is, I understand. This sounds very simple, but it's way overlooked. What we have to do is convey to our person that we get them. And it's easy to do that when things are good, but it's harder to do that when we disagree on something. So even if you don't agree about the outcome of the situation, or there's some kind of philosophical difference that you don't understand, you can understand their feelings about it. You can understand their passion about what they believe. You can put yourself in their shoes. And that's the goal when there's conflict. We got to try to understand what it's like to be in the other person and use I understand in something that is heated, not just something like the person tells you they took out the garbage and you say, I understand. No. You got to use it when it's maybe even a little bit hard to use it. But don't fake it either. Say it when you can take that moment of not getting that person at all and try to imagine what it's like to be them. The last sentence is you're right, or you were right about that. When we say that, this one really shows that we aren't trying to control our partner. We're not trying to control the relationship or have superiority in a relationship. It says, I can be right, but you can be right too. And it also acknowledges that we make mistakes. So sometimes we might have been arguing about something and defending our position, but then later on we're like, oh, they were right about that. And we want to say that it will prevent the other person from taking on that I told you so energy, which never feels good to hear that. So you take charge of it. You say, you're right, or you were right. So there you have it. I hope this was helpful, and if it was, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. It keeps the conversation going, and then we can learn from each other. Let me know if you've had this experience, or you know these 3 sentences very well. Maybe there was 1 or 2 that you were missing. And I hope you have the most beautiful day. I hope you have so much fun today, whatever you're doing, and you were right.